Hey everyone, welcome back to this TrendGuards Explainer. So over the weekend of July 8th and 9th, 2026, the entire artificial intelligence landscape experienced a massive, completely unannounced shift. Bypassing the usual media hype cycles, OpenAI just dropped a verified double release, the GPT-5.6 specialized model family, along with GPT-Live. The era of typing a prompt and waiting for a chatbot to process your text, yeah, that's fundamentally changing. Today, we're cutting straight through the noise and the speculation. We're doing a purely factual, fluff-free breakdown of this new architecture to see exactly what was released, how it works under the hood, and what this actually means for the immediate future of AI deployment. Now, as always here at TrendGuards, our highest priority is accuracy. We absolutely do not deal in rumors. Everything we are covering in today's explainer is drawn directly from 3 verified documents. First, the official rollout updates and system cards released by OpenAI's product launch division between July 8th and 9th. Second, the Microsoft 365 Copilot core architecture briefing, which was just updated on July 11th with their engineering integration data. And finally, direct benchmark comparisons published by TechRadar Enterprise Analytics on July 12th. If there's any incomplete information out there, we're going to tell you. Let's look at exactly what these sources confirm. You know, what really makes this rollout so distinct is the strategic silence that preceded it. There was no massive keynote leading up to this. Instead, the deployment happened directly to production environments. The core confirmed event here is that Sam Altman's team has officially moved away from the whole concept of a single one-size-fits-all general-purpose model. For years, right, the industry standard was just a race to build the biggest brain with the highest raw parameter count. Well, this release represents an entirely new strategic scaling paradigm. It's a massive pivot away from raw size and a hard pivot towards specialized cognitive tasks and real-time audio reasoning. Inference efficiency and autonomous agent execution are officially the new metrics for success. Okay, let's really dive into this. Understanding how OpenAI has unbundled their architecture is absolutely crucial to understanding the future of enterprise software. According to the official system cards, GPT-5.6 splits the cognitive workload into 3 distinct, hyper-optimized layers. We've got Soul, Terra, and Luna. Now, Soul is the heavy lifter. Its primary focus is heavy cognitive reasoning, making it the best use case for complex math, academic research, and multi-step agent tasks. It's designed to break down dense code architecture before it even outputs a single word. Then we have Terra. Terra is engineered specifically to balance raw performance with massive cost reductions, really targeting those daily enterprise workflows. And finally, Luna. Luna is optimized purely for speed and ultra-low latency. It has this tiny footprint which lays the groundwork for instant automation, real-time translation, and on-device edge computing. Choosing an AI model is now fundamentally about choosing the exact right specialized engine for the specific task you have at hand. To give you a verified, real-world example of how this is already impacting the market, we just have to look at the July 11th Microsoft architecture briefing. It actually confirms that Terra is right now the default back-end model running inside all of Microsoft 365 Copilot. This proves that for massive corporate deployments, the balance of cost and efficient workflow execution that Terra brings to the table is taking strict precedence over the raw, heavy reasoning power of a model like Soul. So while the 5.6 family completely overhauls the enterprise backend, the GPT-Live update fundamentally changes human-computer interaction. And listen, we're going to avoid all those emotional claims circulating right now about the death of the chatbot, and just look strictly at the architectural engineering that makes this possible. Up until now, voice AI functioned a bit like a walkie-talkie. You speak, a server translates that voice to text, the AI processes the text, generates a text response, and then a text-to-speech engine reads it back to you. That whole process created a hard 1 to 2 second pause. Now, what's really interesting here is the new verified latency metric, sub 200 milliseconds. That is a critical number because sub 200 milliseconds matches the exact speed of a natural human conversation. The crucial point to understand is exactly how they achieve this. The documentation outlines what they call a full-duplex architecture. This means the neural network is natively processing audio tokens. It reads audio and outputs audio directly and simultaneously. There is zero behind-the-scenes text translation happening anymore. And because it's processing native audio, the system literally hears the cadence of your breath and the micro-inflections of your voice. But more importantly, from a technical standpoint, this full duplex setup allows users to just interrupt the AI mid-word without crashing the session's context window. The model dynamically adjusts its audio output on the fly, exactly like a human would if you spoke over them. So why did OpenAI execute this massive unbundling strategy right now? Well, by looking at the broader market context and the benchmark data from TechRadar Enterprise Analytics, it becomes really clear that this is a highly calculated multi-front defense against our biggest rivals. First, let's look at Anthropic. Anthropic has quietly built this massive, highly profitable enterprise moat with their Claude 5 family. They've really doubled down on their constitutional AI framework, which practically guarantees rock-solid safety and zero hallucinations, which is obviously a strict requirement for highly regulated sectors like medical and finance. By releasing Sol, OpenAI now has a dedicated, heavy reasoning model that can directly challenge Anthropic's dominance in complex, high-stakes academic and multi-step programming environments, going toe-to-toe with Claude 5's reliability.
And this brilliantly illustrates the second front: Google. Google's Gemini 3.0 series has been winning tons of praise for its native multimodal architecture and continuous lifelong learning systems, which are powered by these massive TPU v7 chip server clusters. Google's infrastructure gives them just an incredible scale advantage. But by deploying Terra, OpenAI is directly challenging Google's cost efficiencies. They're basically offering enterprises a highly optimized workflow model that just doesn't require massive computational overhead. By unbundling, OpenAI is fighting on three fronts simultaneously: Anthropic on deep reasoning, Google on enterprise efficiency, and they're establishing a brand new frontier in real-time execution with Luna and GPT-Live. All right, we've covered the architecture and the market strategy. Now let's look at exactly when developers and enterprise decision makers can actually deploy these systems and what still remains unverified. The rollout timeline is incredibly aggressive. Over the last 24 hours from the initial July launch, the developer APIs for both Luna and Terra officially went live. Development teams can integrate these models into their applications immediately. And over the coming week, the full multimodal reasoning capabilities of the heavy lifting Sol model are rolling out to enterprise tiers. The transition away from simple prompt engineering and toward autonomous cognitive agents, these systems that can act, speak, and complete complex work loops without any human supervision, is not some future prediction. It is actively deploying into production environments right now. But you know how we operate here at TrendGuards. We prioritize verified, real-world results over launch day claims. OpenAI has certainly reclaimed the narrative this week, but a massive unknown still remains. How are these newly specialized autonomous models actually going to handle real-world deployment bugs when they are interacting at scale? Will GPT-Live's interruptible full-duplex voice interface actually prove revolutionary for everyday users? Or is the lack of a text buffer going to create unforeseen friction? That is exactly what we will be tracking closely as developers stress test these APIs over the coming weeks. So what are your practical takeaways from this architectural shift? Are you planning to integrate Luna, Terra, or Sol into your own workflows? We really want to know how this impacts your actual integrations. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer. Keep your models grounded in facts, and we will see you in the next deep dive.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow. See you in the next video.